Yo, 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 welcome back to the Further Your Lifestyle podcast, conversations on lifestyle, passions, and hustles. My name's Chris, I am your host, and I'm super excited to be back here having the conversation with you. Episode 228 today, and we're talking about a topic today which it really does grind my gears. I get super frustrated when I hear people go on about this and complain about this and make excuses about this, when really they are the reason things aren't happening. And the whole prompt or the whole question or the thing that I see getting thrown around so many times, whether it's in my comments, whether it's in other people's conversations, across YouTube or on Discord forums and all these different things. And I apologize. Like, if I sound triggered, it's because it's very frustrating when you actually have the answer in front of you. And the prompt is this: I wish I was more motivated. And the reason why that frustrates me so much is you yourself are actually so much in control of being able to actually be motivated. But a lot of the time there's these friction points, there's these things in the way that stop us from actually getting to where we want to be. Now, I've covered this topic numerous times. I even spoke about it in a Get Wired episode not that long ago, talking about how our comfort is actually stunting us from being able to grow. It's a very similar thing. But today I've got 5 points. We're going to make this super quick, because I really just want to get you down to the detail, straight into it. And if you want to be motivated, you just got to do these 5 steps, and it's going to make your life so much easier in being motivated. However, you still have to do the work, right? So you got to be willing to answer these questions. You got to be willing to figure it out. Because if you don't, you'll continue to do the same stuff that you've always done, and you'll get the same results that you've always gotten. All right, so that's what we're talking about today. Buckle up, get cozy, and if you do enjoy these episodes, make sure you do like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, but most of all, please share it with someone else. Let's roll the intro and let's get into it. So, I guess it's kind of like a 5-question motivation card or sorts, right? But the first point, the first question or the first area that I want you to kind of take some moment to think about, and you can pause this, you can spend as much time as you need to. For me, this will be quick, but I really want to make sure that you're spending the time doing it, because if you're not doing it, I can't do this for you. Like, you're the one that wants to be motivated, right? So if you've clicked on this, you clearly want to be motivated. So number 1, you need to clarify the target. What exactly is it that you want to get done? When you say, I wish I was more motivated, we're saying that on the basis of something that we want to achieve. Or someone has said, oh, you could do this. And it's like, I just wish I was more motivated. And it's like, well, motivation is super important to us getting anywhere. But it won't work when we have very foggy goals or we don't have clear vision of where we're going. You need to have a very clear, and actually it needs to be crystal clear, understanding of what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because when we understand what we try to achieve, or trying to achieve, or working towards, or want, or be able to have in a long period of time or a short period of time, then we can be motivated in saying, well, if I do this, then I will get that. And it's just literally like dangling a carrot in front of a horse. The horse keeps racing after it because it wants the damn carrot, right? So that is the first thing you need to think. So you can do this at a very big level. You can do this at a very small level as well, bringing it down to like, what do you want to get done today versus what do you want to get achieved this year? And then we can start thinking about, where do you want to be in 10 years' time? So what exactly do you want? Write that down. Figure that out. Put it to the time frame that you're looking at. Is it this week? Is it this day? Is it this month? Is it this year? Is it the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What does that look like? It doesn't have to be detailed. It just has to be big enough that you're excited about it, that you're getting the goosebumps about it. That's what you want, right? You really need to have the conviction of what it is that you want. Number 2 is find the first step. If you had to take the very first step, what is the smallest action right now that you can do? What would it be, right? If you can do one thing today that's going to get you closer to where you want to be, what is that one thing that you can do? One thing. That's all it's going to be. And the reason why it's so important to focus on the one thing is because action triggers momentum. When we pick up momentum, when we apply action, we can start to get some movement. And the thing is, if you can't answer this, it becomes a bit of a clarity problem. So if they can't but still won't, then it's a friction problem, right? So if you're not willing, if you can, but you won't. If you know you can answer this, but you won't do it, then it's a friction problem, right? Whereas if you can't answer it, it's more so of a clarity problem. And this is why I love when I try to grow, when I try to level up, I want things to come at me like a fire hose because it forces me to figure it out, gets the friction out of the way, and because I know it's where it's going to get me to where I want to be, it provides very clear clarity that do I actually want this versus do I not? Because when there's something that's coming towards you in real high speed and volume and velocity, and it's going to be, big and scary, if you're not really willing to tackle that head on, you probably know that there's a bit of a clarity issue, right? Because you will know that this probably isn't what I want. But if you're willing to do that, then that's okay. But then if you're not willing to then solve the frictions that come from that, the problems that come from that, that's also when you're going to start asking, is this really what you want, right? So for me, I'm excited because I am willing to do what I need to do to get to that next level, to get me closer to where I want to be. So if you can find the first step, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be outrageous. It's just got to be one little thing that's going to get you moving towards where you want to be. And then you can start to build that momentum. So what is the one thing? What is the first step? What is that one thing that you can do today that is going to get you closer to actually getting you closer to where you want to be? And that's how we can start to pick up the momentum of motivation as well. Number 3, we just spoke about this, is remove the friction. So what is making us, what makes it feel so hard to actually make that first step? Why is that first step so hard? What is making it feel this way? So if we can answer this, it starts to dig out what the real blocker is. And a lot of the time it's going to be fear, it's going to be overwhelming, it's going to be maybe you don't know how to manage it or do it. Maybe it's perfectionism. Maybe it's misalignment of priorities. Maybe it's insecurities, all those different things. You got to deal with it. That's really probably one of the most important things, because the friction of what's stopping you being able to do it, if it's a problem in terms of like, okay, we don't know how to process this many items, you can figure that out. But if it's more of a fear thing because you're scared you're going to fail, you have to work out how you overcome it. What are the things that you're scared of happening? What if it doesn't work out? Okay, so if it doesn't work out, what is the outcome of that? Do you have to sell it? You'll have to ask for more help. You'll have to really understand what is the worst case scenarios here. Are we talking life and death, or are we just talking that it's going to take you longer to get to where you want to be? Those are the things you really need to be weighing up. So if you can remove the friction, you can start to move forward. But you got to ask yourself, what are the friction points and what's actually making you feel this way in the first place, right? And then number 4 is you need to connect all of this to identity. So if you did this constantly, what would it say about you as a person? Now, for me building the lifestyle and the business that I want is part of me. It's my baby. It's like playing a video game. To me, it's actually like playing RuneScape. It's like you get to level up, you're fixing up some skills here, you become, level 50 in this, you're level 60 in that, level 99 there, and eventually you're going to become a master of it. But then there's always more things because they always bring out more updates, and therefore there's something else to keep you pushing yourself to that next level. So that's why you need to connect it to you. Why are you actually doing this in the first place? So people show up for a version of themselves they want to be, not just for a task on a to-do list. So I'm building this business because I want to grow. I want to be the person I've always wanted to be. And to get there, it means I have to go through this journey. Now, this can apply to whether it's physical fitness, health and fitness, building a business, changing your life, getting into a certain job, getting a role or a promotion, all these different things. So you have to have an understanding of what does that look like from an identity standpoint. Number 5, being the last one, is it needs to be anchored to meaning, right? You need to have an understanding of why does this matter to you right now in this season of your life. But also think about why is it important that we do it today, because is that going to get us to where we want to be, right? Coming back to the original points. But the thing we have to think about here is urgency and relevance will always beat these bursts of motivation every time. What you want to be able to do is you will find times, even though you've started on a journey, where you start to question, what am I doing? How is this? You get to a low point, right? A good example of this is on eBay. Every average week for me at the moment on eBay is about $9,000, right, in revenue. But then you have a week out of nowhere that you do 6, and you start to think, what's going on? What am I going to do? You start to, maybe have some frustrations of well, this isn't hitting our goal. What am I going to do? And you start to panic and you start to question things and you feel low. But it's in those moments, that's when you're tested the most around your anchor to meaning and knowing like, no, this is just one part of the puzzle, 1 week in 1,000 weeks or whatever. And it's for you to then have to think, okay, well, we move on, we charge forward regardless. Even when you're feeling low, you still got to find the ways to have motivation. And the ways to find that motivation is to making sure that you've anchored it to meaning. So you're doing this for this reason. For me, I haven't taken a huge profit for a very, very long time because I'm happy to establish some core foundations and really build out the business that's beautiful from a ground up perspective, knowing that the profits are going to come. I mean, we are profitable. It's more like the money that people talk about that to them is what profit is. And it just means, lots of money that's left over. And I know that will come. But at this point in time, I'm not focused on getting profit. I'm focused on building a machine that works, that ticks over, turns over, and is able to make those things happen. So I've got a meaning towards it. I know what our goal is. I know what we're trying to do. And I know where I want to be in 10 years. I know what I want to achieve in that time. And that's why I'm able to push through on those low days. So it really comes down to going back through these 5 questions. 1, clarify the target, right? What exactly do you want to get done? 2, you need to find that first step. What's the first thing that you can do today that's going to get you closer to actually getting this happening? And then 3 is we need to start removing friction, right? What are the friction points? And then how have you connected this? Number 4, how have you connected this to your identity? And then number 5 is like, what is the meaning behind all this? Is it anchored to that? Is it going to enable you to push through regardless if it's a good day or a bad day? So I would challenge you, listen to this. If you haven't done it already, re-listen to it and write down some answers. Put them on paper. Make it really hard for you to do so you make it real, right? And that's basically the whole episode. I mean, like, the thing I can leave you with is like, so now that you've done it, what's the next 10-minute action that you can go do today to move this forward? Right? Now that you've got some clarity. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that listen to this and think, this is just one of those things people say again, it's wishy-washy, it's all talk. But the reality is, you're the only one that's talking. You're not doing. If you go do some work, if you actually take action, and if you actually get over yourself and get past all the insecurities and all the reasons of why you're not motivated, you will actually see the progress that you want. But you've got to be really real with yourself of why you haven't started and what is delaying you. Because it's very easy to say, I wish I was more motivated. Well, there's obviously a lot of meat there. There's a lot of deeper issues there. And look, I don't want to be rude, but the reality is you own your life. Take back control. Do the things that you want. But you can't not do the things you want and expect to have the things you want. It doesn't work that way, right? So start small. Build it up, get that snowball happening, build the momentum, and I guarantee you will see the results that you want. It won't be easy though. It will not be easy. This stuff is hard, and you have to deal with yourself. The beauty of me leveling up in my business is I've had to grow as an individual. I've had to get really comfortable with being uncomfortable. And the beauty of that is, in hindsight, you look back and think it really wasn't big issues. At the point in time it was, but I look back now and think I can't find any big problems because you look back at them and they were so little, so irrelevant, but they were so big as big hurdles or big stepping stones to helping you get to where you want to be. That's it from me. Appreciate you being here. If you did have any questions or want to continue the conversation, jump down into the comments below. More than happy to continue it. And appreciate you being here. We'll be back here again next week, doing it all again. You have a wonderful day. Cheers.